Today here in the dungeon, we're checking out the Thunderstorm Flanger from TC Electronic. Flanger is a cool effect. I don't know why I don't use it more often. If you've seen any of the other videos that I've done on this series of pedals, when TC Electronic released this series of pedals earlier this year, they had them listed on their website as the new smorgasbord of tones. So even though it's not physically printed on the pedals or the packaging or anything like that, I refer to these as the Smorgasbord series from TC Electronic. Again, I've talked about this in some of the other videos about this that I've done. TC Electronic was bought out by Behringer a few years ago, and what they did was they took a bunch of old Behringer pedal designs, the ones that you've probably seen on the used market, the Behringer stomp box effects in the plastic housings. They took those pedals, redesigned them with upgraded components and electronics on the inside, put them in a solid metal housing, rebranded them under the TC Electronic name, and added a couple of new ones to it, which I believe are the Boost and the Reverb out of that series. And they're fantastic pedals for the money. This particular, the flanger out of it, the Thunderstorm Flanger, runs $59.99. The entire series are $49 or $59. This one runs $59.99. If you search or wait for the right deals, they're certainly out there. They're already starting to hit the used market for the $30 to $40 range. Very, very easy to find already, particularly on Guitar Center's website. They feature a momentary switch as opposed to a latching switch, which means that the effect is engaged on the release rather than the initial stomp. It's a very solid feeling switch, doesn't feel like it's going to wear out. The knobs are very solid on them as well. Again, the housing is very, very sturdy. This thing is going to be able to be thrown down a flight of stairs and take a beating and all that kind of stuff. And also it features top-mounted input and output jacks to conserve space on your pedal board, which means you can butt them all up right up against each other. Flanger, as I mentioned, is a very, very cool effect. It's what I like about this one is you can tell when you engage it, you can tell it's on. And I've used flanger over the years as a boost with a little bit of flavor to it for lead fills and things like that. There's not really a specific flanger out there anywhere that I try to sound specifically like I do with phaser pedals. Flanger, I'm a little bit more forgiving, and I can find a lot more uses for it. What I like about the effect itself, it motivates me to be creative. The one thing that I will say, and I've noticed this on all the modulation pedals across this entire line, the ones that I've played and the other demos that I've seen of the ones that I haven't played, the rate knob on this for some reason is very, very subtle up until about 3 o'clock, about 75%. And then once you get there, everything from 0 all the way up to 3 o'clock doesn't do much, and then that last 25%, that last quarter turn or so, the rate just takes off, and the slightest little adjustment on the knob itself can make a big, big difference in the overall effect. Everywhere else is a pretty subtle effect. So if I had one complaint about it, that's what it would be. I really wish that TC had used a more linear control for the rate of these modulation pedals. Again, as I said, very solid metal housing, standard 9-volt input jack, very, very affordable price point. I cannot express how impressed I am that TC Electronic took this design of these old, what I thought were terrible Behringer effects pedals, and actually turned them into something usable, and still kept them in the same price range. So again, hats off TC Electronic. You've done it again and continue to amaze me, and that's why I keep buying your pedals. Any and all applicable links down in the description below. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. And if you've tried any of the Smorgasbord series pedals, please leave me your comments. I'd like to know what you think. More cool videos to come. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this video, most likely you're a musician. Most musicians were inspired by an event at some point in their lives to want to play music. However, what if that event still occurred, but you had no means of your own to acquire your own instrument? There are thousands of people in your own community that would love to get involved in music, but do not have the means to afford their own instrument. Please donate your broken or unwanted gear to my friends at Share the Music, where Share the Music will take those instruments, refurbish them, and give them to somebody just like us and help change their lives for the better.